Ladies and gents, pay attention not only to the games that are about to happen, but to the results in this group. At the top of this group now, we have Vinchester and Leary, okay? They're number 1 and 2. That has been something that we expected for a very long time. Over the last few weeks, we just kind of knew it was going to be the case. However, what we didn't know is about the other 4 players. And coming into this, there's a chance that any player here, except for maybe one, could be placed in 3rd place or 6th place, dependent on what happens in the final 2 rounds. That is absolutely bonkers to me. For Slam, though, he has a lot of work to do. He has 3 wins. This is his final round. Capoch comes in here at 5 wins. For Capoch getting 1 win, he's probably going to be good. For Slam, if it's about survival, getting 2 could do it, depending on the other results. But I think he really needs to get a 3-0 here. Slam came very close to getting victories throughout all of his rounds, but only being able to put 3 wins on the boards put him in jeopardy. Capoch was able to get a win off of Leary. Capoch was able to get 2 wins off of Backed. And I think he was also able to get 2 wins off of Song Song, but forgive me if I forget exactly how his results have gone. He's playing as the Aztecs. And actually, one of his sets, or one of his wins, was against Leary on this map. He was playing as the Mayans. He played very well. Aztecs and Mayans, 2 of the best tips for this map. They're very strong. I think Aztecs in particular just feel a little bit stronger than the Mayans because they can apply more man-at-arm pressure early. Slam picking the Hunt is very surprising to me. I would have to look back at the Civ draft, but while I know that he's comfortable with the Huns, I feel like civilizations like Lithuanians, civilizations like Mongols, civilizations which could maybe have a faster start would maybe suit him a little bit more. But in the mid-game, Slam is very comfortable with the Huns. He is, like a lot of pros, used to play only Hun Wars, and he seems to be very comfortable with any scout civilization. Now, if you want drama, and you want this to be as spicy as possible, I think you should be rooting for a 2-1 result for Slam. That would put Capoch at 6 wins. That would put Slam at 5 wins. That would put Backed at 5 wins. And I think Song Song's at 2. But then imagine if Song Song wins 3-0. Then it's 6, 5, 5, 5. And we have to go to the 2nd and maybe 3rd tiebreaker to determine who goes where. So, again, if you really want to see some crazy outcomes, that's the result you should be rooting for here. And honestly, I do not see a 3-0 happening. I don't see Capoch 3-0ing Slam. And I do not see Slam 3-0ing Capoch. So it might not be the wildest prediction to think we might see a 2-0 here. Or 2-1, excuse me. Interesting decision here from Capoch. Honestly, I love it. He used his Eagle to try and steal resources. He hasn't found anything, sadly, for him. It's a great job from Slam to bring in all of his resources. But I like how Capoch decided to mill this. I obviously will need to place a mill later on his berries here as well. But on this map, you have 1 Rhino, and then you have 8 Hunt. And fortunately for Capoch, it's actually all together. Sometimes they're in separate groups. Slam, though, he never lets a day go by without pushing in all of his deer. Or, I guess, ostrich and zebra in this case. And Slam has had a pretty good start. He hasn't been lamed. That can always be a big talking point when up against that Eagle. He has all of his food, and he should be able to click up here nicely. Also, I love how he positioned his mill. These villagers are actually protected by the berries for now, so that's quite nice as well for Slam. My expectation here is that Slam is going to be going scouts. Obviously, he doesn't have a ton of scouting intel right now, so he's starting to get some small walls down. Just going for the safe plays you need to when you expect some pressure is going to be coming in. Now, I think both players have come in here really prepared. Maybe not for Serengeti as a whole. I think that that's something that Slam has struggled with. I recall him losing a game against Backed on Serengeti. And maybe one more. But Capoch, obviously, happy with this map as he got that win against Leary. But when I talk about preparation, I think more so for what the players like to play. Both of their bans on the map draft, because you get to ban a map before it gets to the first phase of the picks, were maps that the other players have played and won on before. We had Slam banning Atacama. Capoch loves Atacama, played it in his previous series. And then you had Capoch banning Houseboat, a map that Slam had also beat in... who did he win against there? I think it was Backed, actually. That's the series I'm thinking about. And I like that. If you know me, we talk a lot about prep. Like, I was very critical of Leary in his set against Vinchester in Group C. mean, the guy's playing like an animal, obviously. He always does, but it was clear to me he didn't really prepare, like understand the maps or whatever. You know, those are the type of things I just really don't like. Obviously, people getting through on their ability is great as well, but you want it to be combined with skill. And both of these two doing themselves a favor by preparing like this, and they know the stakes. Slam scouted the barracks, looped around. He's trying to take a look at resources. He probably knows the gold is there now. So wood, hunt. Here comes the 3 militia for Capoch. There he goes with an archer range. Slam opening with those scouts. The only thing is, Slam hasn't confirmed he's up against Man-at-Arms yet. He never saw a flag. He never saw the militia. I think with the barracks timing, you would be correct to assume it, especially against Aztecs. It's very common with the Aztecs. But we'll still have to see. There is a chance that he could always overchop, or over forage, depending on where you're looking. But for now, it looks like everything's safe. And Slam is going to try and stop the walls. Very important moment of this game. Capoch is going to send his archer and his spearman either forward or home, and the spearman going home is the right call for him. This is how Capoch plays. He honestly might wall more than any of the other players in Platinum. He just loves to play secure. He doesn't take any risks. And I think Slam is going to have to take a bit more risks today. And here he is with the 3 scouts. So he got here really fast. There's a spearman, though. Meanwhile, the Man-at-Arms are in. And this is what I mean. There was an overchop from Slam. This is why Man-at-Arm pressure dominates this map. Capoch runs away. Slam with 3 more scouts, though. And Slam didn't lose a villager. Also, Capoch with a lot of idle TC time right now. 41 seconds. Honestly, good start from Slam overall. He's going to be able to pick off a Man-at-Arm. He will pull his weak scout away. Bit of a miss micro there. But in the end, he's going to get some kills. He loses 2 scouts in the process. I don't think he'll hate it that much. I think he has definitely done more to Capoch's eco than he understands. Just simply by running around into Capoch's base like this. Now, Slam's probably going to plan for an archer range. And these scouts probably won't ever be able to escape, but the longer he runs around with these scouts, the longer it... the less that Capoch sends forward, I guess, is the thing to say. Obviously, if he gets a villager, I'm sure he'll be happy. He's going to try it here. He's not going to kill this villager. And so Capoch saves the puts the villager on a farm. Here's Slam with his scouts. He is going to see the eagle from Capoch. You can tell Capoch is distracted. So far, it's a pretty close game. We have to wait and see what Capoch does with his army, though. He's got a lot of archers in that range. Also has the blacksmith already, so once he gets fletching, Slam is still looking for that weak villager. Oh, well, yeah, once fletching comes in, there could be a big difference there. More than MBL? I would say so. I would say in the way he walls, yes. I would honestly say more than MBL. But honestly, that's a fair point. MBL does wall a lot as well. I guess with MBL, there's just a lot of other things to talk about, right? Because he's like so quirky in the way he plays certain situations at times. For Capoch, it's just he doesn't have quite as much skill as MBL, to be honest. So I think the walls just stand out as a bigger part of his game because of that. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a few players who are going to play safe. Obviously, to get to this level, you don't want to take any risks. Slam, I love his scout micro, though. The fact that those spearmen have not been able to move forward with the archers is so nice. And he's just waiting. At this point, he's just waiting. He knows that army's going to come forward. He knows where he's vulnerable. He goes in for a villager. Can he get this one? You've got to dive because the scouts are going to go down and whoop, doink, got him. Loses 3 scouts, but those scouts were going to go down anyways. That's the first kill on villagers in the game. Slam in a pretty good spot as long as he does not take some damage right now as he waits at home with some skirmishers. Slam's played very clean, but this force could dominate. He only has 3 skirms. Big mistake from Slam is he stopped producing skirmishers. He had the answer. He stopped production. If he had 5 skirms, he'd feel a little bit better about this. He is going to use his scout as a runner for micro. He's going to pull off the gold temporarily. See, this skirmisher hops out. That's a bit sloppy from Slam. Loses that skirm. He will have armor in a second, so I expect him to be able to hold this. His micro is also quite good. This is allowing Capoch back into the game in terms of control. The spearmen won't honestly be that effective at this point because the scouts aren't even that important. It's all going to be skirmishers against these archers. And now armor's in, and Slam is going to be able to pounce. And good job from Slam. So a little sloppy. Not the end of the world, though. This will likely push Capoch towards the eagle choice. We'll see if Slam senses that. As he's killing these archers, he should realize that probably an eagle's going to come forward. It's actually quite nice to have this scout, because that one scout can help out against one eagle. Slam has so many fans, and rightly so. He's such a good guy. He's also a very talented player. It has just been the thing that has plagued him is the skill that he hasn't necessarily translated to the tournament results, but he's had a much better year this year. Like, I think this year, honestly, has been one of his best years in, like, 2 or 3. And we'll see if he can maintain his position here, right? Like, getting relegated definitely would hurt the conversation around Slam as the outlook on Slam in terms of his position as a top player. Love the guy. Love to see him competing. He is going to push this back now. Happy to toss away this scout as he just wants to kill those archers, but probably just going to have to pull back with these skirms. I've noticed Slam has gone for 3 ranges at home, so he likely knows his opponent's going to go eagles. Oh, by the way, these skirmishers can't hit anything. Great micro from Capoch. Well, I don't know if it's really great micro, to be honest. He's kind of frozen up here with the eagle. Looks like Slam's going to go cav archers here. They will be in cast lanes at around the same time. I love how open Slam played originally. And now he's walling up in some areas. He should know it'll be full eagles from Capoch. And honestly, I kind of like the choice to go into cav archers here. When you think about the damage output from a cav archer, they do 8 damage. Eagles and cast lage have 5 pierce armor. So you're doing 3 damage a hit. If you can get to like 20, 25 cav archers with ballistics, those eagles are not going to be doing much at all. And I think if you were to play into knights, which is not bad, I would still like to see him make a knight or 2. But if you play into knights, Aztecs have fantastic monks, and then Aztecs could also go pikeman eagle, and then you're going to want to range shoot it anyways. You don't see it too frequently, and maybe like on paper to go archers against an anti-archer unit doesn't make sense, but cav archers are a different beast. And Slam loves his CA. Early tower from Slam, I think, is an example of something that maybe the top 10 might not do, right? He had the gold secured. He didn't need to drop that tower. He just dropped it anyways. If there's a world where he needs to secure an extra gold or a wood line later and he can't drop a town center, that could hurt him. Slam, however, sold all of his stone for this uptime. So Slam's going to, or Capoch is going to be going all in. And so we likely will not see any booming for some time here. The Slam massing those cav archers. And this is where I'd like to see Capoch consider a siege workshop. I'd say the problem is you want the siege workshop to be somewhat forward, and that might not be so easy. Now, I have played Capoch when Capoch is playing Mezzo a few times. And something he does a really good job of, and it honestly tilts me even talking about it, is his raids. He just splits up the eagles. So he won't engage against your main force. He just splits up his eagles, and he'll try and hit different spots. Actually played this exact Civ matchup against him 3 months ago, and I remember it clear as day. Did not go well for me because he continued to raid. Slam so far has been able to push that away. You do have a random archer here. A couple archers here had to be dealt with. But that's what Capoch will aim to do. Slam needs to recognize that, and I think even wall more towards the TC. Now, the problem is if you don't have ballistics, these eagles are going to dodge a lot of your shots. So Slam really needs to prioritize that ballistics upgrade. He does continue to push forward, though. He is sniping those eagles. 22 to 13 KD. We've not seen the eagles do any critical damage with their raids yet. It has been annoying for Slam. But overall, he has what he wants. He has a good amount of food eco, has bloodlines, has husbandry for the speed on the cav archers. The only thing he doesn't have right now is ballistics. So he just doesn't feel the need to cancel some of those cav archers just yet. He wants to get that mass going. He's got 17 cav archers already. Slam is doing a great job with his micro. And if you're Capoch, like, this is bad enough where you might need a siege workshop at home. I always love the Scorpion edition. And I love this from Slam as well. He knows what Capoch is trying to do, and he doesn't want any eagles to just get into his eco. It's amazing what 2 or 3 eagles getting into your eco can do to change a game. Capoch is going to be on the prowl. He knows there's a Cav Archer mass here. He knows there's a Cav Archer mass here, so he's going to run in here. Now he attacks the gate, and suddenly Slam's got more Cav Archers. Slam now 20 seconds away from ballistics. Honestly, everything has gone perfectly for Slam at the start of Castle Age. He's been able to get through here. Oh, ballistics is in as well. He's been able to get through here to kill villagers. He's not taking any damage to raids. And Capoch has been all in this as well. So you know if you've got this much of a head start that you can maybe snowball your way to victory. If his food eco gets a little bit better as well, I could definitely see Slam mixing in a few knights as a buffer. For now, though, he has most everything on wood and gold. Slam with 8 villagers killed in this game. That's more than I thought we saw there. Might have missed a few because this has just been going crazy from Slam. Look at this. Focusing on the vills. Capoch is desperate for another gold. And now Thumbring is even in for these Cav Archers. Now there is a TC here for Capoch, so he can catch up on the vill count. But he has lost a lot. He still has not been able to break through. Look, Slam always has Cav Archers waiting for those eagles. And that's amazing awareness from Slam at home. He remembered there were still eagles there. And so I think he was keeping an eye on that the whole time. Okay, so he is... I don't think he's one-shotting the eagles. Let's see. He's very close to one-shotting the eagles. At the very least, he's two-shotting. Okay, he's on the hill and he's one-shotting. Oh, God, why do units regroup like that? Cav Archers regroup all the time. It's so unfortunate. Still think Slam has the lead. Now, could Slam go for the kill? Does Slam realize that Capoch doesn't have gold? And will he go for this gold? We'll see what he does. Going to stone and adding a market, both of those things indicate to me that he wants a second TC. You do have to really babysit the Cav Archers, as I say it, or just pay very close attention to them as you micro. With Eagles, you kind of just patrol in and they do the work for you. You don't have to be too cute in the micro. The problem is there's huge benefits to the Cav Archers when you can micro them properly, and their Slam just sits in a choke point, so most of these Eagles can't surround. And look at this KD now. 57 kills for the Canadian. And I honestly don't know what Capoch can do besides ride out this storm. He does get the third TC down. So he's on 3 TCs. He might shift fully into siege defense at this point. It's going to be really hard for Capoch to keep all of his villagers alive. But if he can gain a villager lead, if he can come back with that, and maybe with a better economy, mix in some skirms and eagles later, I could definitely see it working out. Slam, though, just doesn't want to give him any time. This is perfect. No hesitation, no confusion. Instantly dives. Because Capoch is going to go for a counterattack, it looks like. Slam, seeing this, has Cav Archers here already. And it is going to be Scorpions for Capoch. I think Slam's going to be really frustrated with himself upon rewatching this. I mean, he's in a position to win it. But if he loses this game, not having scouted this gold earlier, or denied this gold earlier, is a really big deal. And he's going to loop around now. Slam's definitely in a position, though, to drop the town centers himself. He is in the second TC. He definitely needs to get more farms out. His base is very exposed for raids, and here he is just trying to camp the gold. As this main Cav Archer group is flirting with leaving. It's like, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to leave. Just making Capoch second guess the situation. Yeah, I mean, Slam is an amazing Hun player. I like how he's gone for a comfort pick. Other players might try and play what other players are playing on the maps. But, I mean, it's clear so far that he's picked this civilization because he's a beast with them. 73 kills and 31 losses right now. Capoch is looking for an extra gold right now, guys. He cannot find gold. He can't take this gold, so I swear that's why he's over there. I don't think 3 Scorpions and these Eagles can do this if Slam could just choose when to take the fights, though. He's going to kill more villagers. Slam could choose to run away if he wishes to. And now if Slam gets up to like 25 on food, then you're going to see the second stable. Then you're going to see some knights from him. But I do think you have to prioritize villager production right now. You're killing so many villagers from Capoch. Capoch has lost 26 villagers this game. And that's not going to stop either. I like the combination of Eagles and Scorpions in the earlier stages before this mass gets this high. But this is ridiculous, man. Cav Archers are insane. It's rare that you actually see this these days, so I'm happy to see it. And wow, this just gets worse and worse for Capoch. Capoch is a massive fighter. He's not one to GG early. He still has 3 TCs, but it's 69 villagers. Nice for Slam. 108 population versus 53 villagers and 61 population. And this might actually be the GG moment. With these villagers getting found, Capoch might feel like he has no chance. We'll see. He does have his eagles over here. But Slam just happily picks off the vills. This army's still free and not taking any damage. Slam. He could have chose to take the army before the villagers. That's what some players will do. And once you kill the army, then you can kill the villagers for free. But he went for the villagers instead and just runs away. 39 CA with 10 more in queue. This is crazy. And now this gets exciting, right? If Slam takes this game, they both have 2 games remaining throughout the rest of the series. Obviously, the games in this set are the final 2 games for them. This is the final round. So Slam getting the first win means it is 5-4 in total wins for these guys with 2 more games to go. I would love to see Slam open this up with 2 wins. It'd be so dramatic. Obviously heartbreaking for some of the players out there too. Well, Capoch continues to try. He doesn't have anything that's looking like he can win the game though. He has 8 eagles, 1 scorpion. Is creating a little bit more. What a crazy opening from Slam. Absolute domination, man. And I don't use that phrase too frequently. Absolute domination. 51-2 eco KD. And the total KD is as good as you'll ever see. 123-50. He looks at home right now. Now, Slam has Arabia as a home map, which we'll eventually see. If he wins this game, that'll be game 3. And then Capoch has Cross. It feels like Cross is going to be an important one. Slam's reacted to the raid here. He's now going to walk forward and build a get out of my game castle. And Capoch calls the GG. There you have it. The perfect start for Slam. That's what people have been talking about, man. That's what people thought they were going to see more of from Slam in this event. Slam gets his 4th win when it counts. 134 kills, 61 deaths. Massive lead in that game, and I like the opening. I think for Capoch, honestly, actually, it's not even just for Capoch. I think the difference maker in this game and in this matchup is that early feudal moment where Capoch is trying to wall and Slam gets in. If Slam doesn't get in, which you have to credit him because he ran directly forward. There was no hesitation. If he hesitates a little bit and then is outside of Capoch's walls, instead of it being 3 men-at-arms and an eagle, it ends up being 3 men-at-arms, 2 archers, 2 spearmen. And then Slam didn't have the range, and it's very difficult for him to deal with, and he could actually fall very far behind at that stage. So his scouts getting in, even though it didn't result in villager kills till a bit later in feudal age, really delayed Capoch's follow-up to pressure Slam, and then Slam was able to finish it off in early castle. Again, I like the eagle all-in idea from Capoch. I think that's the play. But I think if you're up against Cav Archers, you need an early siege workshop as well. And you need to have the Scorpions and the Eagles together before that mass gets so high. And Slam was just so fast to getting the mass going. He also defended himself nicely from the raids there. GG. All right, let me hydrate up here. Game number 2. We have Cross. And as expected, and as we've seen a lot of, we have Lithuanians versus the Japanese on this map. Slam could have gone for Huns as well. Obviously, he played game 1 with Huns, though, so he decided to go for Lithuanians on this map instead of the Huns. While Huns are also a very strong pick for this map, I do not think they are as good as Lithuanians. Lovely start here from Slam. The standard play with the Lithuanians is to send 4 villagers to wood immediately, and then you'll collect a lot of wood. You will get the dock up a bit earlier than your opponent. Lithuanians, all about power spikes, all about using early advantages in this type of a game. Now, Capoch is a crazy waller on this map, and I mentioned it in game 1. He's a player who plays towards extremes, and so what Capoch used to do is he used to pick Byzantines on this map. He used to have his own dock, right? But then he would full wall himself in feudal, and he would sneak villagers to your pond and all the other ponds. He would just forget about land. I think that was kind of Capoch of old. I don't think he's necessarily going to do that here. But, you know, I'd like to talk about player preferences. Slam is going to be more that player who will likely try and open with scouts or archers on land and make it Arabia. Capoch is probably going to be more the player that will focus on the water side. The big difference maker between the Lithuanians here, I think, is just the fact that they're going to be fuel age a bit faster. And the big talking point with that has been docking the opponent's pond to try and take their fish. Now, he doesn't know where Capoch is right now, but honestly, Capoch is a pretty good base to defend from that. I could see Capoch walling here in particular. And so if Slam were to try and sneak a Vil, even here, it would be rather tough for Slam to get through. How is Huns really good on hybrid maps? Don't they start with minus 100 wood? Well, they do start with minus 100 wood. But think about how much the houses cost. Like 2 houses at the start of the game is 50 wood right there. And by the time you're about to click up to fuel age, the Huns have already saved more wood than you and feel a lot more flexible. So I think it's good that Huns start with minus 100 wood, but it's more so like mid-feudal, early castle. That's where that flexibility comes in. Now, Japanese, they're already in a really strong position because they have cheaper lumber camps and mills. So they save a bit more than other civs would to compete with Huns in that manner. And I do think that the Japanese fishing and just playing into heavy crossbow, heavy arbalest is really hard for the Huns to stop. So I do prefer the Japanese on this map. I think we've seen enough Hun Japanese to tell me that it's good that Slam did not pick that civilization here. With Lithuanians, I mean, you could argue that just going full trash could counter the Japanese for a time. I mean, their faster skirmishers is going to be awesome. I guess you don't necessarily need the halberdiers in this matchup. Riley Steed, everyone sees ads a little bit differently. I recommend trying an ad blocker or something if you're having issues with some of them. Technically can't say that, but whoops. I'm sorry if it's been in the way. Again, like, I get so many different feedback from people. Some people are getting them, some people are not. And you can support, and 100% of the support comes through to me on this platform, but it doesn't get rid of ads if you're experiencing them. So, interesting dock for Capoch. I'm going to assume he just didn't see a shorefish. Yeah, he just didn't see this shorefish, which is kind of unfortunate, but this would have been a nice dock. It's not like this is a bad one, but it's almost like he's trying to hide it. We could genuinely see a world where Slam goes to scout the shoreline and then doesn't see a dock there and gets really confused. But yeah, we'll see. Here comes Capoch. I definitely see Capoch trying to sneak a Vil to someone's pond. He's going to see this now. Slam still has not located Capoch. But he did, okay, he did see the house, so he must know that Capoch is over here. And this is what I mean. He's going to check the shoreline, and he's not going to see a dock where you'd normally see a dock, and I think he's going to be confused. Will he continue to look? I, at this point, would think he hasn't docked. Okay, he sees it. Good job from Slam to be thorough, because I could see the confusion really getting to him. And this is precisely what I talked about. This is the build order with Lithuanians. You want to get over there as quickly as possible. Now, what's going to make this more awkward for Slam is the way the wood lines are positioned, and also the fact that the dock is here. Normally, Capoch would be docking here, and then you could sneak into this position. This basically blocks the position. What in the world? Also, no! Kill the scout, kill the scout, kill the... Oh, my God. Okay, that is so much better than what it could have been. Oh, my God. Okay, sorry, I needed a second to take a deep breath. So Capoch loses his scout. 2 or 3 sheep there died in the process, but Slam almost lost 700 food to that. And now, guys, Slam has snuck through here. God, my heart is racing for him. He has snuck through here, and he has the dock up, and Capoch doesn't have a clue, man. Now, it's important for Slam right now to scout this barracks and know what's up here. He has to know, because if he were to lose a couple of villagers, obviously, that would suck. So we'll see if he preps walls at home, but my goodness, he does have this scout. He could kill this villager, which would be a great start. Capoch, that was weird how he, like, prepped the palisades. What? That's a really interesting quick wall. Maybe I should try that. That way I can actually do this. The way he pre-built it. Oh, my God. Okay, yeah, the way he pre-built it is very unorthodox. Meanwhile, Capoch is walling, like, okay, just going to wall this guy out of my base, and this is the worst feeling ever. You see the dock, and now there's going to be fire galleys, and now he has to make his own fire galleys in defense. Scout for Slam is over here. Still could kill this villager, though. Capoch is going to have to try and quick wall again. Slam has prepped 0 walls at home, though. 0. Now, there's been a lot of work here, so I can understand it even if he thinks it's coming. Not get the walls down yet. Capoch will not save this. He will not save this villager. But here come the men-at-arms. And Slam is living the dream right now. But it could turn into a nightmare. Does he react? Very well done from him. And Capoch is actually running into some TC fire as well. So I like the patience from Slam to not pop out with his fire galley yet. I like how he's killed the villager. And now I like how he's gone for the damage control approach of getting quick walls down. Obviously still has some work to do. But even Capoch, you know, being down the 2 men-at-arms does make a pretty big difference for him. Slam also went over here and is adding a fishing ship. This is an incredible start for Slam. This is exactly what he would want. And in this group, remember, anything can happen. Capoch gets 1 win and he's probably safe. Slam gets 2 wins and there's still no guarantees. I think if he gets 3 wins, he's probably safe. We do also have a probability sheet. If someone could maybe link that in chat, I'd encourage you guys to look at it. Slam tosses away his scout, which I don't like at all, but he's just desperate to clear out this pond, so I understand it. He doesn't have a repair villager here anymore, but 3 fires on 1 fire ship should mean the repair villager doesn't do enough. Man-at-arms still here. Slam now adding the range. Slam has had the better start with food eco. It's been a messy one here, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Tony. What's up, Dave? What's up, Cav? Like to see Slam get those archers rolling. You'll notice Capoch hasn't moved his forward yet. Japanese fishing ships have still been working here, which is the sad thing for Slam, but I think the overall control he can gain from this is really good. His dock is still full HP, so he can always produce here. If you're in Capoch's position, you always have to expect that Slam's going to produce. And it's not a good feeling, trust me. I feel like every time I play this map, I always am in Capoch's position where I'm trying to wall and then the dock is already there. It's very frustrating. I think Lithuanians are actually the best at being able to get that fast dock up because of their fast fuel age time. Slam desperate to kill these before they're repaired because he doesn't have a repair villager. And the fishing ship's actually blocking. Oh my god. 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 Wow, that was huge. That fishing ship's a beast! That fishing ship's an absolute god! I wasn't sure it was intentional at first from Capoch. My word. By the way, as we see, the repair villager will save the day. The archers here. They should be able to push this away. I say should. You've got a million other things to work on. All right. There's a dock over here for Capoch, which is what I was going to get to. That's huge. He also is going to be coming forward with archers. That could catch Slam out. 46 pop versus 48 pop. Slam does have more fishing ships, but he also has less land army. And I could see these couple archers getting a lot of value. Slam's not fully walled yet. Also, from Slam's perspective, he does not see this shoreline right now, and Capoch is coming over here. Capoch doesn't know that Slam is here, but he saw the house, so he's probably going to assume as much. Honestly, really, really good stuff from Slam to be able to keep himself in this... sorry, what I meant to say is good job from Capoch to keep himself in this game. I thought he was going to die in this one. He should be able to make his way to Castle Age and maybe even have 3 pawns here. Sam in chat says if Slam loses 1 game, he gets relegated. I don't know if that's the case. He did lose 2-1 to Backed. Yes, I think that might actually be the case. Because I think even if Song Song wins 3-0 against Backed, I think Slam would end up losing on the tiebreaker, yeah. I think the probability said there was like a 6% chance. If... Now, the probability didn't take in some of those things into account. So, yeah, makes sense. Capoch maintains his control in the north. Will start to take control over here. Slam realizes this and is starting to make fire galleys. I think a really important thing here for Slam is the fact that those archers were not able to get into his eco. And the fact that he can go for war galley with this dock right here. Yeah, that's huge. Also, when he's over here, he should probably check to see if he could get a few more fishing ships over here. But being faster to Castle Age will mean, and sadly this isn't going to do too much, but it's going to mean that he could clear up the pond in the east and the west. That's going to be probably a minute and a half difference with those upgrades, and they're both working off of one dock on each side. So I can see Slam killing all the fish, and Japanese fish don't look so strong at this stage of the game. They're still tanky, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same. Slam knows about every single little pond. Also has a knight and a skirmisher running forward here towards Capoch's base. What Capoch has going for him is the fact that he'll have quite a few crossbows, but we'll see if Slam will mix in more skirms or maybe even some siege to deal with that. There's the siege workshop from Slam. Honestly, I have agreed with most of the decisions Slam has made, and I don't mean to come off as surprised here, because that can be rude. But the honest thing is like, sometimes Slam has some big question marks over strategies and civ choices. And he plays it like it's 2018 still, you know, like some players will, and he has not really done that. Like this here, not that you could play Lithuanians in 2018, but a lot of players would go monastery. But he realizes that getting the relics is something that he can worry about in the future, and he really needs an answer to crossbow. I love that decision. But yet again, like we're saying all these good things about Slam, and Capoch is going to push back on this pond. Over on this side, though, he did lose his fishing ships, of course. And Capoch will add TC number 2. Capoch has 0 eco upgrades. What? I just realized he has 0 eco upgrades. That is really bad. I'm sure Slam's not going to give up over here, as he's going for a demo. I think overall, you know, Slam will be very happy, even if he ends up losing this pond and he loses the score lead. I think he's still going to be pleased because he took out the fishing ships from Capoch in the right. So they've kind of just traded evenly with the amount of fishing ships killed. Oh my god, and Slam is sneaking another dock. That must have been the villager that built this dock. This is so good from Slam. Now all he needs to do is defend from this. As Capoch is getting crossbow, and he already has the siege waiting. I'm sure we'll see some type of reaction from him, and now he knows. So as TC kills an archer, he'll loop the siege over here, I'm sure. If Capoch doesn't realize this, he could lose all the fishing at home. Meanwhile, the fire galleys still continue to fight. Slam even looking for an additional dock. We'll find that. Slam does lose this dock, however. So maybe he'll make a monk there to get a conversion. Who knows? Bit awkward right now for Slam in terms of map control, though. Yes, he can kill the crossbows, but that's more of a defensive move. If you give someone like Capoch the time, he's going to sort out another way to make your life hell. Capoch on 2 TCs, still no eco upgrades, so he's pretty far gone at this point with that. And Slam just loses a monk. That monastery felt very random to me. That's a slamdom. No, position on the monastery. Good shot there from Slam. He misses. Capoch with an opportunity with the hill to micro. Slam with the attack rounds. Capoch dodging back. A good move from Slam. I actually love what he did there. A lot of players wouldn't run in with the knights because they'll lose them. But there's a second example of it. The crossbows will stick around as they stop to fire on the knights. And it benefited the siege there. Sick stuff from Slam. Still a very close game, though. Economically, it is dead even. So you could maybe talk about the upgrades. Slam's dock here, I guess we'll see. Because Capoch is 2 fire galleys. Slam's about to have 3. Normally, what makes Japanese strong is the man-at-arm play, which didn't accomplish a ton in this game. And it's having lots of fishing ships. Okay? Apart from that, you start to think about their land bonuses, and their cav's not that great. Their archer line and then their infantry line is where you go. And that archer line and that infantry line can all be countered mainly by skirmishers and Lithuanians. That's before you even talk about the knights. I guess the problem for Slam is he's not relying on skirmishers at the moment. But obviously the benefit right now is while focusing on water, he is definitely cleaning up the water. Capoch is surely just going to shift most of his focus, to land. But he still doesn't have any eco upgrades. He will lose his crossbows there. Slam has some monks out. Slam will look for relics. Capoch has 1. He's about to get 2. Honestly, the food eco is so bad for Capoch. He can't even stop. Well, he can't produce out of his TCs nonstop. And that will always take priority. And there goes Slam with his monk trying to get conversions. He's never floating food for anything here. Like, the wood upgrade would be huge. Horse collar would be huge. If you can't float 75 food for horse collar, you know your eco's not so good. Whereas for Slam, he was able to get horse collar before his farms as he's transitioning into those. His wood upgrade's been in. And I kind of laughed about the monastery position earlier, but this is maybe what Slam was thinking. He doesn't need a dock. Who needs a dock when you can just convert someone else's ships? Dang. So Slam kind of has all 4 pawns, you could say. I guess we could consider this 3.5. But we have a big, massive crossbows from Capoch. This is how he's going to win this game. His Vilcont's not bad. He also has the hill. 21 crossbows. Slam doesn't have many knights. He doesn't have many skirms. It's all siege for him right now. And like I said, if you have control over the game, if you're dictating the pace of the game, you can do some crazy things. It doesn't matter if you don't have those eco upgrades. If you have a lot of army and you have a hill, it's so much work for Slam. Like this town center. Oh, God. I think he's worried that pressure will come in here or something, but oh, that's a painful one. Capoch actually used his crossbows. I don't know if it was intentional, but to me, it looked like he shot down the fish trap. Maybe Slam deleted the fish trap. I guess that'll be dealt with. But yeah, this TC is a sitting duck. Slam needs good siege shots. And honestly, I'd love to see him invest some of this food into upgrading knights, into getting armor and attack for skirmishers, and just making some more on land here. And that's the downside. That's why Cross is an amazing map, because you have Slam with all 4 pawns, and we'll see if that lasts. But Capoch has invested and focused onto land, and now there's a benefit for him here as well. As a big army. The positive thing here for Slam, though, is that everything that Capoch is making can be countered by siege. So if the micro's right, Capoch could lose everything, and then Slam could push this back and probably castle the middle. I think where Slam places his castles will depend on the siege, and he kills 2 mangonels. Yeah, now you're thinking you can place a very bold castle, right? Maybe a castle here, maybe a castle here. Whereas if you lose 2, then you're castling behind your TCs. Here he comes. Still a really awkward spot, and there's always going to be a siege workshop there for Capoch. Crossbow will get converted. And there's the castle drop. Oh, geez, man. Slam is at the bottom of the hill with his villagers and his siege. Oh, no. I haven't confirmed it. I will believe what people are saying in the chat who are probably looking at the dock, but it does feel like Slam cannot lose a game here if he wants to survive. And you know what? He's fine, man. He sent just enough villagers there. And now Capoch is going to be feeling pressure. And Capoch wants to place the castle. Capoch, oh, no. I was going to say place it further. His siege is over here. I guess he doesn't want to take the risk. But can you imagine if he would have castle dropped here? The difference is Slam is the eco to go imp. The Slam clicks up to imp. And if it's castle v castle, Slam can always treb that down. But we'll see, of course, which TC he chooses. He's using the very back TC here, so he'll be able to make his way up. Capoch could obviously kill a lot of villagers over the next couple of minutes with this attack. But so can Slam. I think Capoch is in big trouble here. He reacts very late to this, and he might have to pull all of his army and all of his siege back. You can tell he doesn't want to, because he knows he's behind, and he has to get in and do damage. And wow, look how epic this TC ends up being for Slam. Also, Slam, research hill forts right now, and everyone's going to lose their minds. I don't remember how much it costs, but I know that hill forts is pretty insane when you're defending in these positions. Gives your TCs +3 range. As Slam says, thank you very much, he's going to take that relic. It is still awkward for him, but when 1 or 2 trebuchets could push back the full push from Capoch, I think he's going to be feeling okay. And if he is panicked at all, he could always drop a castle here. He's got the stone. He's building up towards skirms right now. Still continues to trickle in a couple units here or there for some attack. Dang, dude. Have you guys ever seen a game where someone's researched 0 eco upgrades, though? And don't say Nikov. Nikov doesn't deserve that slander in 2022. If it was 2020, we could say Nikov, but the reformed Nikov, he doesn't have these problems. But seriously, like, to not even... Hey, there we go! Nikov! I had to say it. My instincts kicked in. I hope he's not here right now. Oh, my God. Anyways, there we go. Double bit X. As his opponent hits Imp. Now, I can understand why he didn't have it, because he was so at the limit. But painful, man. Painful, painful. So the Trebs will come out. Also, the latest here snipes that lonely Mangonel because the crossbows had to come home. Capoch is going to try and click up here. And he might even make it to the Imperial Age. But what is he going to have left when he makes it to the Imperial Age? No relics for Slam? Pfft. Not yet. But he can take these relics. And you don't really need the relics if you're just going Skirmisher, right? Like, Skirmisher Bomber Cannon is really all you need, I think, right now. I love how Slam didn't add the Monastery in early Castle Age. So many players add that because they want relics with Lithuanians. But it was always going to be about siege defense. It was the perfect call from him. And he has Bracer now. He's getting armor on his skirms. Now the Trebs are coming out. I would like to see him continue to make Trebs, and it seems like he is. He's camping some gold over here. Capoch is still 2 minutes away. I mean, he's trying to catch up here, guys. I said the word of the day was spice, okay? This is gonna get freaking spicy here. I mean, unless Slam throw... I don't think Slam can lose from this position. Obviously, if Slam throws, that's extra spicy. That's like the Indian food I had last night spicy. I knew I should have gone for mild, and I tried to branch out, and I regretted it. But I just think the eco's too good for the Canadian. I think his position's too strong. I think Capoch is going to have half a base by the time he makes it to the Imperial Age, or half an army by the time he makes it to the Imperial Age. The Slam, if he had a bit more stone, could walk forward and castle here. Not hesitating at all to just dive his skirmishers underneath TCs. I'd like to see him continue to do that. Just skirms. Whatever. Just go in. Kill the army. Capoch will barely be able to afford Arbalest. And he's dropping a castle here. I mean, I understand. You get the stone, you want to defend yourself, but there's Trebs still. I don't think I could actually jinx Slam out of this one. And man, is he looking good. And Capoch has not had a bad series either. I felt like his opening to game number 1 was solid. Slam's follow-up was just epic. And again, in Castle Age here, Slam played incredibly well. He could have easily given up on this pond, and he never did. He could have easily taken the right pond and not focused on the left. Still focused on it. This is like peak Slam right now. And I'm seeing confidence in Slam that I think sometimes he just doesn't show up with. Okay, crossbows. They have Bracer now, so they can outrange the siege. Still not ideal. Slam's Trebs see this castle, so he's going to go Treb that down. Capoch's castle is defending Slam's house. That's nice of him. But not a whole lot else is protected there. And now I expect Slam to start to get relics. If he really wants to consider a full tech switch, he can do so. Capoch gets rocked. This is over, my friends. This is over. We're going to go into the final game with so much on the line. Okay, so after this game, it'll be 5 wins for both players. And it might be a do-or-die conversation for both as well then, right? Because we'll have 3 people tied at 5. And always the potential... Oh, man, this is complicated. Yeah, like if Bact gets 1 win against Song Song, which I think is safe to assume that he will, Bact is going to be one of those players that goes up above 5, and then it's going to be a fight between Slam and Capoch pretty much. Yeah. This next game is going to decide who gets relegated, I think. Again, assuming that Bact doesn't get 3-0'd by Song Song, which if Bact gets 3-0'd by Song Song, then who in the world knows? And at that point, we might have Bact getting relegated and these two going through regardless. But dang, man. Dang. So let's actually, if it's okay with you guys, we're going to look at the stats for this game because I think all the Slam fans deserve an ooh, ah moment, okay? I think they deserve it. So there you go. Ooh, 169 kills. Ah, 64 deaths. Look at the economy as well. Slam destroyed in that game. Again, he was so good, focused on all the puns, defended himself quite nicely from the man-at-arms. The scouting was top tier. The dock timing was top tier. The eco transitions, all the conversations we need to have. Quality stuff there from Slam. Also, calm down about the no GG. If it's these games happen, I think like 2 hours ago. I haven't seen them yet. It's a recorded game, people. All right, it's not that big a deal. I know we sometimes struggle for drama within Age of Empires, but if he were to call GG 1 second after he resigned, we wouldn't see it. And, oh, of course it's going to be Chinese versus Mayans. I mean, what other Civ matchup would we see to decide what happens here? So nothing's 100%, but it's pretty darn clear that whoever wins this game is going to stay up. And whoever loses this game might be screwed and will depend on the other series that's left in this group between Backed and Song Song. Guys, it's been a really fast couple weeks. Like, we've had so many games. I just checked the playlist. I have 56 separate sets. That's a crazy number. 56 separate sets in the playlist. We still have sets in the backlog that need to hit YouTube. So there's been a lot of sets, right? But when this whole thing started, the idea was to make it exciting for the scene, give players opportunities, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to be honest. I was more excited to talk about the relegation fight than even the promotion out of the group. Because 3 people getting promoted out of the group, that's whatever. They then have their best ofs. They fight for more prize pool. We get our big name fights. That's awesome. But this is something that Age of Empires just hasn't had, at least in a very long time. The relegation conversation is hype here. So the fact that we are here and we have one more game and it could come down to this is crazy to me. Slam's playing as the Mayans. He's got a pretty good map. The Titans League map generations are normally a bit wallable. And I would say that the walling generations benefits both of these civs. Capoch also has a really nice map. I could see the walls here. Pretty good wood lines, berries to protect. That's all fine. I can't say any map is necessarily better than the other. I think when you're talking about the Chinese player in this matchup, the most important resource is actually going to be safe berries. If you were to have berries forward, the Mayan player could drush you. And then the other talking point with Chinese is if they're going to get lamed or not. And so far, Slam hasn't been able to steal anything. So I think having back berries when up against the Mayan player is actually quite nice here for Capoch. He's even going to bring in his sheep. He saw Slam's eagle. Again, I do not see Slam getting away with any lames here. He came forward really late, honestly. Did you add boars to the back in Titans League Rabbit? Yeah, they're like to the side of the back. We did the same on the majority of the maps as well. And that's what I'll probably do for the foreseeable future if I'm ever including laming. Because I think having boars directly on the front can be too punishing. And I just want laming to incorporate a bit more of a risk. But yeah, there's normally 3 main wood lines. So you've got 1, 2, 3. And that's the same for Capoch. The secondary golds, the secondary stones, those are things you talk about later on. Capoch has a decision to make here. Mayans are almost always going to go man-at-arm archers. Or just straight archers. They kind of have 2 choices. Chinese, they have more options. They could go for scouts. They could go for archers. It is rare, but you could see drush or man-at-arms from them as well. In this matchup, I would be perfectly fine playing into archers and skirmishers if you're Chinese. Chinese, for me, feel better if they don't take damage going in towards Castle Agent. Oh, no way. No way. He's going to shoot them all with his TC. No way that just happened. No way that just happened. No way, man. That's the second game in a row as well, by the way, where Capoch gets right next to the TC and Slam's sheep are just waiting out here. 400 food down for Slam, and it's going to be 500 food down for Slam. This is the second game in a row, and that is brutal for Slam. That is absolutely brutal, and that's also so smart from Capoch to realize that I don't know why this happens, by the way, but the stray arrows from the TC will actually hit the sheep. Experienced players will know that, and Slam needs to push in his deer now. What a tilter, man. Now, I have to go back and look at that. I'm gonna hotkey that. We'll look back at that later. But honestly, you know, I have to give full credit for Capoch because that's 2 games in a row now where he's tried that. I feel like the previous game was a bit of... I think the previous game was a bit of luck, honestly. There, I'm not too sure. But also, you have to ask, should Slam have the sheep that far away? Like, what was it, out here? Don't necessarily need to do that at this level. And now he's drushing as well. Oh, my goodness. He lost 500 food there. Dream scenario for Capoch. Again, we changed the map scripts. We do allow laming. It's part of the game. We changed the map script, so it's not quite as brutal for you. Sam had all of his resources. Everything's fine. He just has to keep his sheep alive. And to make matters worse, he's actually spending food now. So he lost 500 food. Now he's spending food on the militia. He's had to farm way earlier than he'd ever would have farmed, and this can kind of change his strategy. I don't think he's going to be able to go to feudal age if he's spending all this food and has lost that much. They were decently close, but they converted over by the scout and moved them farther away. Yeah, he moved them instantly. Capoch, man, he's a player who's going to take advantages any way he can find them. He was very aggressive with his scouting all league long. He did that against Leary as well. He was able to get a win against Leary, I don't think due to a lane, but he's going to go for an archer range start. He knows that it's a drush. And you look at Slam. Slam is going the wrong way. No, he doesn't even know where Capoch is. Oh, this is so painful. He's going the wrong way. Slam. Okay, now he sees the TC, so now he knows. But the fact that Capoch is walled, going into eco, and just playing directly into a counter is so rough for Slam. Now, Slam might be able to pull off a fast castle off this. There's a chance. Having the berries exposed is really going to hurt, and I think that's where Capoch will need to go. Lovely move from Capoch. I like how he's not trying to deal with this. He's just walling it out, and he's deciding to go forward and do something. Look at Capoch's scouting. He sees everything. He knows exactly how Slam's going to play this. He knows the berries are exposed. The correct play for him to send the archers forward. Slam probably feels like the most lonely man on the planet right now. Slam played so good in the first two games. And then Capoch ruined his day with the lame. And then Slam also not knowing where his opponent was when going for the 3 militia. I think he understands this is going to get out of hand now. Let's see what he can do without the berries. I mean, he can try his very best to bring in as much food as possible here. Like, I think you have to be as stingy as possible because that food is the difference between you going up or not. I think, and someone else just spotted it, I think you use the market here. I think you go market blacksmith, and then you play into eagles and castle age. I think that's your play. Also, the militia can help distract, which isn't bad. Let's see what Capoch does. Capoch probably waiting for a blacksmith right now. And there's the blacksmith. So he didn't have fletching right away because he went for the eco. Honestly, love the idea from Capoch, though. Because you've applied a lot of pressure, and even though you haven't killed anything... I'm not sure I love the archer range idea. But even though you haven't killed anything, you're still dictating the pace of the game. Well, what Slam wants is he wants to go for his own range units. And he's going to relocate to this woodline. But this will not be a fast castle for him now. And he is to shift over to the woodline because this woodline's getting hit. And the positive for Slam might be if he moves into some skirmishers here, he might be able to get back to his berries. 31 villagers versus 32. Can Slam turn this around? This is a comeback scenario for him, despite there being 0 kills, 0 deaths in this game. Capoch has full control. Capoch, he will have plenty of food, believe me. His food count's going to spike. He's not spending any on army. And he has all those Chinese farms with lots of food on them. Here comes the archers. The skirmishers are there. Great job from Slam. He gets to the right position. I think Capoch was like, what's he doing for wood right now? I think Capoch is also loving life because if he sees the army there, he can loop around to this wood line. And now he needs to run. The ideal scenario for a pro is to invest as little as possible into an army or into an attack and gain tons of value. And that's precisely what we've had here. A few archers have done so much to Slam, has rattled him, has affected his eco. And meanwhile, he's untouched at home. Also, for what it's worth, that's precisely how you want to play the Chinese, too. I mentioned it before. Chinese normally walling up. Pretty wallable map gens. The Drush looks really bad right now. He's trying to get some value. Hey, Drush OP, let's go. Honestly, Slam's still in this if he makes a market. And there's the market. His ranged unit mass is decent. He will be able to free up his woodlines. He'll need to do some rebalancing, for sure. But he could click up around the same time. And Mayan privilege, we talk about Mayans all the time. How they're able to bring games back. Slam, though, losing a skirmisher here to the starting scout. Capoch now sending archers in over here. Capoch also has an army here. I don't think Slam's reacting to this one. He's lost the villager. Now he pulls away, and let's see. He's gonna buy food. He's gonna click up here. Capoch could go knights. Capoch could continue with archers. He has choices to make. But Slam, buy food. Buy food. Hey, food. Buy it. Buy food. Slam, buddy, buy the food. There you go. He's up. 4 army versus 9. Eco KD is 1-0. Capoch has more ranged units, but he's playing into some skirms. So Slam, I think, usually has a superior micro. Capoch is a position player. If he can gain a position, he can make things happen. Slam, he's going to hold from this. So he's got 2 mining camps on gold. He's got double barracks. About to be triple. He's starting to make eagles. His eco is all out of whack. But we see a second range from Capoch. There's a tower from Slam. And so that will protect this area. And Capoch has to run away now. And Capoch is probably like, what on earth is that tower? The weirdest tower I've ever seen in my life. And he doesn't see the barracks from Slam. This is what we mentioned. When things fall apart with any Mesosiv, just slap a bunch on the gold, use the market, and spam those eagles, man. So Capoch is going to open crossbow. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of areas for him to pick his spots. But if he doesn't have the knights right away, I could see the crossbows getting cleared up, and I could see Slam bringing this one back. It is likely, though not, I don't believe 100% confirmed for both players anyways, that whoever loses this next game is going to be relegated out and down to Gold League for next season. Capoch's food count is going to be gorgeous. His eco balance is amazing. If anything, maybe he has a little bit too much on gold, but it should be fine. Now he sees the barracks. Here you've got Slam chasing down an army. Here, Slam also could take this out if he were to engage. But Capoch will keep most of his units alive as he will fall back towards the knights, and he's going to go 2 stables here. Mayans have done some crazy things over the years. Slam needs crazy right now. Elite Eagles in. Squires is on the way. Slam going to stone to get more stone for maybe a TC. Would love to see a monastery here. I feel like you have to know that your opponent's going to be going into knights. I think Slam can survive here. The issue becomes, can he actually get some damage in against Capoch? Will he even scout Capoch's base? He barely knows what's over there, but he will clear this up, which is nice. It's sloppy from Capoch, right? Like, you feel like he could have crossbow already. He does have bodkin. He doesn't have bloodlines yet. It just feels like the upgrades aren't quite where he would want it. I think he just sent too much to gold, honestly. But certainly, this is going to be fine. Slam realizes it. Slam backs away. Slam looking to recover here. Skirmishers against the archers. Still very weird to not have crossbow. He probably thought that he had the upgrade. And Slam's going to dive in and attack. And guys, if Slam can take a good fight here, he could then add a second TC behind this, and he might be okay. Not having the crossbow upgrade was really peculiar. And then no bloodlines on the knights. And say it ain't so. Slam is bringing this game back. 16 kills, 9 deaths. I do think he needs to back away. Now there's a choke point and crossbow, but I think he'll be very happy with how this is gone. He's probably angry, too. He's like, take that for killing my sheep, you know? Yeah, probably dove a little too deep there. But there's the second town center for Slam. And needs to catch up on some eco upgrades, but overall it's pretty good. Third TC for Capoch. So let's talk about other resources. Capoch has a stone and a gold here, which are huge. His other stone is here, so it doesn't seem that realistic for him to be able to take stone if he doesn't have map control. For Slam, he has a stone here, and then he has a gold here. And he is now town centering this stone. His base layout seems very, very weird. But it's been one of those games. It feels like this area right here is going to be the talking point. As this game develops, if there's going to be siege or knights and equals on hills, that's the area to focus on. Here come a couple knights. Slam's going to see this. Should be easy house walling for him. That villager can hop in the tower and does do so. Very well played. This is why I would have loved to see a monastery. I do not like the siege workshop. I feel like the eagles can take care of the crossbows. It is more so the monks that are needed here. Capoch still forcing Slam to react as he sits at home. And maybe I'm wrong, actually. That is a lot of siege. I take it back. And I said siege. I meant to say crossbows. And the siege is the right play because holy... There was a point a couple minutes ago where Capoch had way too much gold, and he spent it, man. Double range production and double stable production. Slam has 3 barracks, and he's not even producing out of them right now. Capoch takes a reasonable fight here as he realizes he needs to get bloodlines, and man, is that army strong. Dude, the thing is, like, in a ranked game, I totally understand getting upset about laming. But in tourneys, it's different, right? So, like, you know, there's nothing personal here. It's business. But no, I've heard you say that before. I get it. Capoch is definitely a player who has that killer instinct. Whether it's an annoying villager walling off someone's resource or whatever win condition you can find. It doesn't matter what it is. Capoch is going to find that condition. He's going to go after it. Bit of a bold siege workshop. I feel like here would be smarter, but I guess he knows that Slam can't move up that hill yet. Slam's still producing eagles. Slam has a decent amount on stone. 61 villagers versus 63. Slam had some big siege shots in the previous game. He does not have monks, though, to defend his siege here. Capoch does have monks. Think of what Capoch has. Crossbows, knights, monks. Now he's going to have siege. Whereas it's just eagles. It's just siege for Slam. Obviously a lot easier because you can do more with the Chinese. And Capoch had that early lead. Slam is going to go for a defensive castle here. He's just waiting for it. The fact that Capoch has this much army, though, behind 3 town centers is just incredible. That's so sick. And that's allowing him to take this stone as well. This military is insane. There's no way Slam could ever stop this. 29 crossbows, 8 knights, and siege. And more knights and more crossbows could come forward. But if Slam can box it out with a castle drop, if he can defend himself with a castle on the hill and then suddenly these resources are safe, it's a different situation. I just don't know where you place it. I actually feel like maybe a castle here is good, because then you can still take some of your gold. And he does have this other gold over here. Also, love how Capoch with 1 skirm is making Slam so paranoid that he has to leave his whole woodline. And oh, God, this is so crazy. Slam goes in for the siege. He will lose quite a few eagles. Now Capoch is going to go in for the siege. Slam really needs to dive the village. He needs to get the villagers. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wait a second. The siege might survive. Wait a second. No, it won't survive. Uh-oh. What happens here? These villagers are just like, don't look at me. Okay? This is fine. There's nothing to see here. Sorry, I'm trying to think about who this is better for. I feel like it's still really good for Capoch, but it was way better than I thought it would go for Slam. Now Slam's going to go for Plumed Archers. Also, lovely house wall and stone wall here, because that's where Capoch could be looping to. Those crossbows might be looking a bit useless over time now. Plumed Archers are superior. Slam has a lot of upgrades to catch up on, though. And he has very little control over this game. Economically, he's behind. KD, he's behind. Military control, overall value. Everything's disastrous for Slam, but maybe. But I love the castle spot on the right because now he can take his gold and his stone. And there is a world where if Capoch is trying to do too much, I feel like he really needs to hit here. But if he's trying to do too much, he could lose both armies. Sometimes you're microing this army, and then you lose the other one, and then you go back to the other one, and then suddenly you lose this to siege. So, we'll see. This might be an example. He should be more distracted. And Slam gets a big one. Yeah, see, now Capoch looks, and there's another shot. There should be another as well. Okay, these aren't as exciting as I advertised, but still it's okay. This is an issue, though, for Slam. Slam needs to deal with this. He's sending the plumes over now, still missing upgrades. I think Capoch will probably drop a castle on the TC we just looked at. Okay, Capoch with the split micro. That's so many crossbows, and he gets it. Sick play from him. Sick play, and now this is the invitation. This is where you should run forward and drop this castle, I think, if you're Capoch. You've got the crossbows on the other side. You see that Slam has all this eco here. Your TC's are right over here. Drop off the stone and bring the villagers forward, Capoch. Slam still doesn't have Bod Canero, guys. Capoch is going to drop the castle that could be the killer castle for Slam after 2 amazing games. If he doesn't get his own castle down here, I think he's in big trouble. This army, fortunately, is not really a big deal right now because it's not hitting anything that's crucial. But this army, I don't know, man. Slam is clicked up to Imp. What in the world? Okay, well now, Slam needs to allow this to go up. He needs to relocate as many villagers as possible, and now this is priority. If he can clear this, then he can take this gold. And he is dropping his own castle, which could mean that he could treb this down. So there's still a chance for him. He's done a great job with very little options here. I say plumes are better than arbs because they're faster. They, I believe, are even cheaper. And they have more pierce armor. But obviously you need castles for them. And that buildup of plumes is much more difficult than working your way into archer ranges. I still think Capoch is in the driver's seat here. Like, he has been virtually all game. Slam not knowing where his opponent was. Slam losing the sheep. Combination of those two. Put himself so far behind. The Drush also was just the worst possible strategy for him to go for. Not even just not knowing where the opponent was. It wouldn't have done anything regardless. If you're making a tower here, you should know that you're in trouble. And Capoch, immediately after placing that all-important castle, just clicks up to Imp. Still has 50-plus army here. 30 villager lead. He has 2 relics. He can take all the golds, all the stones on the map. Guys, I just talked about it and I've already forgotten. Is Slam 100% done? Is that 100% confirmed if he loses this game? Because, yes, I think he is. I actually just went through it in my brain. I think Slam is relegated if he loses this because the tiebreak, even if Backed gets 3-0'd by Song, would not go his way. It would be a ridiculous comeback for him. I mean, he will be an Imp faster. He has to start with this castle. And Slam do it. He's got 13 plumed archers, 2 trebs, and a dream right now. Oh, man. But Capoch is living the dream. This relic will come in. This gold secured. Look at the scouting! He sees everything, man. So impressive from Capoch. I feel like when the pressure gets more intense, Slam, history has shown, can struggle a bit more than Capoch. Honestly, the higher the stakes, maybe the better Capoch performs. Can't help but think back to the sheep, though. It's just so tricky. Like, what would this game have looked like without the sheep? Would Slam have still been in a better position after the Drush? Would he have even decided to go for the Drush? What would have happened? And that's just how punishing things can be. Slam has done a great job to stay alive in this game with very few options and very few numbers. He does still have his golds. He does still have 2 castles. He will take out this castle from Capoch. Capoch is going for Cavalier, and he's going for Arbalest. That's rare. Normally, you're opening with one or the other and switching into one, so that tells you how good his economy is. He will qualify if Backed gets 3-0s. I don't actually think so, because I think his Slam would be on 5 points, right? So if Backed gets 3-0'd, they're tied. And the sets one would be the same. And then the tiebreaker would be the head-to-head. And Backed had beaten Slam 2-1 in the earlier rounds. So I do think that Slam is 100% relegated after this. Based on the results. If he loses. 200 pop for Capoch. He has a lot to say about that. He's getting every tech known to man. And he's taking his time here as well. Normally, you would want to go Halps if the opponent was just opening Cavalier. But going into Halberdier here would actually be a mistake if the opponent also has Arbalest. You have to hope that you can get plume number so high that Cavalier, basically anything that Chinese can make, can't stop it. The positive is it doesn't get much better for Chinese. They don't get Paladin. They're maxed out at Arbalest. There's no, like, elite Arbalest. Not that anyone else gets that. Slam 2-3, 1. Oh, that's true. Wait. Wait, you guys are right. Wait, okay, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, so Slam would win this regardless. So Slam would have 2 set wins. So there is still a chance for Slam if Bact gets 3-0'd. Now, Bact has looked incredibly good, and Song Song has been the weakest player in the group. So I think that's a tough thing to hope for, but yeah. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me on that. Bact would just need 1 win to send Slam home and keep himself alive, which is a pretty low-pressure situation for him. And Slam, under all the pressure right now, still trying to keep himself alive. I'm a little surprised at how he's still in this. It feels like Capoch is taking his good old time and playing with his food right now. We haven't seen Trebs or Rams come in for this castle yet, which is crazy. But he is getting Siege Ram now. And that army count for Capoch is still just insane. Yeah, it's a good point, guys. Thank you. Slam still doesn't have ballistics. Yeah, which means no chemistry as well. There's just so many steps he's behind in. In Feudal Age, Capoch took control. All the mistakes were made in Dark Age and Feudal Age for Slam, and Slam hasn't been able to bring it back since. He has done a good job keeping his situation manageable. I think a lot of players would have died to that rush from Capoch with 50+ military all of Castle Age. But this league is meant to bring... It's meant to reward consistency. And even more than this particular set, like, Capoch was more consistent throughout this league, right? And that's why Capoch just needs 1 win to feel safe here. Slam came in after 4 rounds with 3 wins. Capoch came in with 5. They'd all played the same players. This is a series. If this is the first round, like, wow, Slam's the better player. Slam played well. It's going to be good for him in the group. But this is the final round for him. Needing a 3-0 here was pretty much because of how little he was able to accomplish in the other sets. And, you know, you've got another player out there like Song Song who's going to be in a desperate situation needing a 3-0 because he also wasn't able to get results done. And I think the only difference between Song Song and Slam, honestly, was just the fact that Slam won 2-1 against Song Song. Those players are very similar in their results in this group. 200 population for Capoch. Still producing everything. He did push down this castle. And just like before, he's got so much army. Slam only has 1 tiny army. Slam's population is still at 155, so it's actually gone up a little bit. He also does have Halbs now. But Siege Ram, Arbalest, Trebs, Capoch is slowly pushing him down. And anytime Capoch loses an army, he's got the extra golds. And then he's got the relics to pay for it all, so it's really not that big of a deal. You can see by the army queue and the siege queue. And then look at Slam's queue. Slam's at the limit with resources, and he's got 11 units in queue right now. Also can't really get elite plumed archers. Still doesn't have ballistics at this point. Still no chemistry. Feels like that is something that he's just forgotten at this point because he has the university there. Obviously, he's under a lot of pressure. If he takes 1 bad fight, he's dead. So he's probably just not thinking about it quite as much. And I think we all know that it probably wouldn't help him either. Yep, I think back to that series where Slam played Leary as well. He could have won 2 games from Leary. If he would have won 1 of those, it's a completely different situation here, right? That's what I loved about Titans League is how every single game matters. Even if you go into a set like that, and it's like, okay, Leary's dominating, or Leary, like, you're expecting Leary to win 3-0. If someone breaks that, if someone gets 1 win to shake things up, it can make all the difference. Think about Capoch. Capoch was able to get 1 win off of Leary, and that's going to be the difference between the 2 players on paper. It was a really good win against Leary as well on Serengeti. Also, didn't Capoch also get a win against Vinch? I think he also got a win against Vinchester, which was sick. He's going to lose 2-1 here, but he beat back 2-1. I would have to go through it, but Slam taps out, calls the GG. This should mean Capoch is safe. It still might be a conversation of what type of position Capoch has, though. First and second in the group is a lock with Vinchester and Leary. If you're in third place, you move on out of the group stage and fight on for more prize pool. A big jump in prize pool, actually, in the knockouts round of 12 into eventual final. And then fourth place just means you stay alive in Platinum for next season. But Capoch, it didn't look easy, but he made it happen here in the final game. That should mean he is completely safe. Okay, so let's look back to this. Okay, so this was after the fact, right? Because he doesn't have any more sheep. I just want to see, is this something that I consider to be really unlucky for Slam? Is this something he should have stopped? I want to have my opinions on this. Okay, so honestly, the positioning of his sheep is not that bad. It's not great to have them all together like that. And it's not great that they're a little bit off to the side. But the odds that Capoch would come in here from that angle and be able to get those sheep is very slim. Right? You could probably play 100 games like this, and this is never an issue. So as much as I'd like to sit here and say, wow, oh my God, like Slam, you've got to do better there, I'm not really sure if I can do that. So here's the problem. So right now, so like let's say these villagers never move. These 3 sheep will remain his, and these 2 sheep will probably turn blue because of the range at which the villagers are to the sheep. Sheep will not change control unless someone leaves that 3-tile range. So honestly, like the fact that he tried to shoot the scout screwed him up here, and then Capoch was like, oh. Like, look, I don't think Capoch is thinking, I'm going to steal sheep here. I think he's just scouting, and he runs into, like here. Okay, so right here, go back a split second. So your instinct, if you're Slam, is to shoot this. But honestly, if you don't garrison your villagers, you keep 4 sheep and you're fine. So him garrisoning to shoot the scout, I know it's the dumb thing in the moment. You're probably going to do that anyways. But he moved them a little bit further away, and then he garrisons, and now it changes. And Capoch immediately is like, oh, thank you. And watch the weave back and forth. This is experience. He weaves, and this always happens if you weave like that. And then, of course, Slam tries his best to get these back. And the second they turn red, his villager's still close enough to it. So Capoch is doinks him down, which you can only do if that villager's still close enough to him. I think it is, like, super unlucky from Slam. A little bit of a novice move from him and a mistake from him to have them far away. And then his instincts going against him there. I think it's a mix of both. Also, you just got to say full credit to Capoch. Still, though, when this happens, you never drush. You don't know where your opponent is. You're up against Chinese. You've lost food. You never drush. You push your deer. You see 2 farms, and you go up feudal age, and you go archers. So, just so sad for Slam. Like, I feel like I've seen so many examples of that over the years. Also, Caps Rage, what are you doing here? Are you not letting me give Capoch his win? Congratulations to Capoch, though. Heartbreaking end there for Slam. Slam will have to fight his way back in the next season, most likely. But we'll see what happens with Backed and Song Song. And I think Backed and Song Song will happen over the next 48 hours. So, even if you're not that interested in watching Backed and Song Song, if you're a Slam fan, you might want to pay attention to that one. Watch Song Song open up with 2 wins. Oh, God, that would be so sick. Great series. Fantastic games. And exactly what we wanted for the conclusion of the group for these 2.